Live Text Access Training for Real-Time Intralingual Subtitler.
This is Unit 2, Linguistic Competence. Element 3, How to Cope with Speech-Related Challenges. Speech-Related Challenges, Exit Strategies and Readability Standards. Created by UAB and SSML. The learning outcomes for this unit are to identify speech-related challenges when producing verbatim and sensitive subtitles, apply exit strategies when necessary, and comply with readability standards. In this unit, we will be dealing with the following points: real-time intralingual subtitling and simultaneous interpreting, exit strategies, readability standards, main challenges, and we will finish with a summary. Real-time intralingual subtitling and simultaneous interpreting. Live subtitling versus interpreting. Interpreters undertake various cognitively demanding tasks, such as retrieving, retraining, producing, and monitoring information almost concurrently. Real-time intralingual subtitling is sometimes linked to simultaneous interpreting, according to Carlo Eugeni, 2008. Real-time intralingual subtitlers simultaneously perform two major tasks, namely, comprehending the audio, comments, and producing subtitles. Real-time intralingual subtitles should pay attention not to overload the focus of attention, and the language processing and retrieval should be completed before the working memory fades away. There are three main big skills that real-time subtitlers have to possess: phonetic or orthotypographic, synthetic, and psychocognitive. First, phonetic or orthotypographic. In the case of speakers, every single word has to be pronounced in the clearest way possible, taking into consideration that non-grammatical aspects of language that may cause a bad recognition by the software. In the case of fast keyboard professionals, such as velotypists, they have to master spelling. Second, synthetic. Diff generally read subtitles at a slower rate in comparison to normal hearers. Real-time subtitlers have to compress the source text synthetically and semantically, trying not to lose any relevant information. Third, psychocognitive. Real-time subtitlers need to have simultaneous interpreting competencies since they have to speak while listening to the source text. Working memory. Real-time intralingual subtitling poses a serious challenge for an individual's cognitive load. In this sense, the working memory is considered to be a limited capacity mechanism that is involved in both the processing and storing of currently active information while tasks are being carried out. An example of working memory is: Peter gets 2 apples from his mother every day, but eats only 1 per day. How many apples does he have at the end of the 3rd day? This classic example of mental arithmetic is a good illustration of what working memory is for. In addition to the working memory, the work of the real-time intralingual subtitler involves the 4 main activities which were formulated by Jones in 2002 for simultaneous interpreting, which are listening, understanding, analyzing, and re-expressing. The understanding refers to the ideas that have to be rendered as source text. Obviously, a real-time intralingual subtitler cannot understand ideas if he or she does not know the words the speaker is using to express them. In the case of analyzing, real-time intralingual subtitlers may proceed to an analysis of the speech. Speeches may be of many different kinds, such as reasoned, logical, argument, narrative, chronological sequence, descriptive, purely rhetorical, and the others. Real-time intralingual subtitlers should differentiate between what is important in the speaker's utterances and what is secondary, and what is essential and what accessory. Real-time intralingual subtitlers need also to reformulate the wording of the original to maintain the right distance from the speaker. Long and complicated sentences are to be broken down into a series of easier and shorter ones. Relative and subordinate clauses can be shifted around within a sentence, or passive clauses change into active. Real-time intralingual subtitlers must therefore use reformulation as the tool that will enable them to deal with all kinds of difficulties while remaining as close as possible to the utterance of the speaker. To this aim, some exit strategies can be applied. Exit strategies. It is important to highlight that there are no exact rules as to when to condense and reformulate, or when to omit. Long and complicated sentences are to be broken down into a series of easier and shorter ones. This is the case of reformulation. One of the most used techniques in terms of reformulation is the so-called salami technique, proposed by Jones in 2002. The author refers to the salami technique as a way of slicing up a sentence, like cutting slices of salami. Speakers usually formulate long, complicated sentences. The real-time interlingual subtitler must divide up the speaker's sentences into a number of short, self-contained ones, and then link them as appropriate. Real-time interlingual subtitlers are constantly under pressure, with the added burden of not knowing where the speaker is going. The need to be able to reformulate so as to express oneself efficiently exists for all languages, but it should be noted that for some languages is more acute than for others. Simplification consists in a lexical or stylistic simplification of the original message. A real-time interlingual subtitler is sometimes faced with highly technical material. For such speeches, it is desirable to simplify the speech through generalization or deletion. Generalization consists in buying time by producing generic utterances, such as replacing a segment with a general term or idea unit. Deletion consists in an omission of superfluous or redundant information. These techniques may apply if the speech is too technical. Then a real-time interlingual subtitler must at least try to save the essentials by simplification. Second, the speaker may be talking too fast, or in some contexts, different speakers may be speaking at the same time. The faithful rendering of the message would just leave the audience confused, also due to delays. Addition. Real-time interlingual subtitlers may face with notions, cultural or institutional references that are not known by the audience and should be explained. The problem is that this takes time. Real-time interlingual subtitlers can use additions in order to clarify the message and explain the meaning of a specific term or wording, such as an acronym, the first time it's mentioned, and thereafter refer to it in an abbreviated form, thus saving time. Addition can be used to maintain the coherence. In terms of anticipation, real-time interlingual subtitlers should take anticipation when they often begin a sentence without knowing exactly where the sentence is going. The anticipation can be possible from the context of a meeting. For instance, a discussion or negotiation, delegations, positions, or arguments will become known. Return to points that have been already made by the same or other speakers. It should be stressed that these exit strategies are just means, not ends. Exit strategies are not an end in itself, but make real-time subtitling possible. They are tools that allow professionals to be the masters of their own decalage. The decalage is the length of time between the start of the speech and the beginning of the text shown on the screen. A long decalage allows for higher accuracy, but results in long delays. Such exit strategies have the potential to reduce the cognitive load of real-time interlingual subtitlers by allowing professionals to concentrate on fluent and accurate production of the target message. Readability standards. Readability standards for subtitles can be vague and differ depending on the country, but a common factor is that high-quality subtitles must be readable, otherwise they are not accessible. The goal of subtitles should be to match the intent and tone of the audio so that deaf and hard of hearing individuals can comprehend the content. Punctuation. Real-time interlingual subtitling requires also traditional subtitling skills like punctuation, which applies to both verbatim and sensatim subtitles, and segmentation in the case of sensatim subtitles. A major problem when dealing with readability standards is the reading speed. The following table, based on a study carried out by Arnaiz Uzquiza, presents the speed-related information in different countries based on number of characters, lines, and speed in words per minute, as included in the STH guidelines of different countries. In the case of UK, the official standards drawn by Ofcoms is that subtitling speed should not exceed 180 words per minute, which are 15 characters per second. Therefore, more of the times exit strategies are applied. Simple syntactic structures tend to be both shorter and easier to understand than complex syntactic structures, so make it simple. Main challenges. Main challenges are the following ones. Decalage has to be kept short. Rigid time constraints due to synchronization. Keep up with fast dialogues. Terminology management, technical terms, proper names, and foreign words. Summary. As a summary, we would like to stress the following points. Real-time interlingual subtitling is closely linked to simultaneous interpreting. Working memory is a limited capacity mechanism. There are no clear rules that can be given as to when to condense and reformulate or when to omit. Reformulation will depend on the speech rate and content of the source text. Simple syntactic structures are shorter and easier to understand than complex syntactic structures. High-quality subtitles must be readable, otherwise they are not accessible. Decalage has to be kept as short as possible. Exercises. The exercises for this video lecture are in the trainer's guide and the PowerPoint file.
LTA Live Text Access, Universitat Autónoma de Barcelona, SDI, Internationale Hochschule, Scuola Superiore per Mediatori Linguistici, ZDF Digital, European Federation of Hard of Hearing People FHO, Velotype, Subti Access, European Certification and Qualification Association ECQA. Co-funded by the Erasmus Plus program of the European Union. Erasmus Plus project 2018-1-DE01-KA203-004218. The information and views set on this presentation are those of the authors and do not necessarily reflect the official opinion of the European Union. Neither the European Union institutions and bodies, nor any person acting on their behalf, may be held responsible for the use which may be made of the information contained here.